Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And some very interesting news. Another top referee hanging up the whistle with a mature Raynal officially confirming that July will be his final match as a referee in his career. And a very impressive career he has. 49 test matches. He will become the fourth Frenchman to officiate a 50th test match, which will then retire afterwards. He will join the likes of Romain Pot and Jermaine Garcia, to name a couple of other ones who have done it so far. And in his parting statement, or talking about his, sort of reflecting on his career, he's talked a little bit about the future of the rugby and where he thinks things need to go. And a lot of people have reacted by saying that has he potentially taken a shot at the Springboks. So we're going to talk a little bit about the comments and whether there are a potential veiled shot at the Springboks or not. Before we do that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so one of the top referees in the world, whether you like him or not, he is ranked as one of the top referees in the world. He's been involved in 3 different World Cups, namely sort of 2015, 2019, and 2023. He was an assistant referee in 2015 before becoming a man in the middle for 2019 and 23. He's also done 2 top 14 finals as well. He also refereed the quarterfinal between England and Fiji. For Springbok fans, though, he most notably took charge of their 3rd test between the British and Irish Lions back in 2021, which we went on to win. And speaking of his career, he said the following. He said, "This sport has given me a lot, and refereeing it at the highest level for all these years has been a privilege and a great honor. After 18 years in the professional game and almost 350 games refereed, the end of the season will be the time to bring an end to an activity which I have deeply loved and which has given me unforgettable experiences on pitches all around the world. Even if I had to do so, I would not change anything in my journey to this point, including, above all, the most difficult moments. Those moments awoke me to the limitless power of courage, fortitude, and resilience, and they also allowed me to enjoy the good times with even greater relish and intensity." He spoke about the reasoning why he has stepped down, and he says that the continued refereeing will be to start again on a 4-year cycle until the 2027 World Cup. I'll be 46 years old by that stage. Today, I am defending a position among the 5 best referees in the world, and it is very hard to be 100% all the time. Today, I can make the effort, but will this still be the case in a year or in 4 years? So basically saying that right now, he could continue refereing, but he's not sure he'd be able to continue up for the next few years and be able to make it to the next World Cup, and has therefore opted to sort of take a step back. So that means, we've lost some big referees. Obviously, Jakob Paper, Wayne Barnes stepping back. So we've lost some big referees in the last a few months, much like we've got some big players at the end of the World Cup. However, what's what the people talking is there's recommendations, and he said the following to AFP, that there are 2 things that he would like to see to increase the ball in play time. He said the first is that we limit the time it takes to set a scrum to 30 seconds, so that we put a shot clock on, like, for penalties and conversions. I like the idea, to be honest. I think we do waste too much time trying to set scrums, wait for scrums, stuff like that. I think we do need to start getting things going a little bit more. I don't think we need to move away from scrums, and that's not what he's saying. He's saying we've got to speed up the time of play. And I agree. I think sometimes we can run 2-3 minutes down with scrum resets and players just, standing up and not taking the hit, for example. So I do think we need a bit more stricter about getting scrums done. And whether that means we need to simplify the way they're done so we can get them quicker, we'll have to wait, won't we? The other one, he said that there are too many replacements that come onto the field in the second half. I feel it breaks up the flow of a match. This is, however, where it gets interesting. He's not talking about curbing the number on the bench, for example, and just the number of people who will be allowed to come on. He said, I would be in favor of having more people on a team sheet, 30 players, for example, but we limit the number of placements to 5 or 6 per match. So that's an interesting concept, not saying that you're going to suddenly make benches smaller, for example, or that you're going to not allow placements and less injuries, which a lot of people are sort of moving to, are sort of maybe raising, but saying that we limit the number of replacements. You have a bigger pool of replacements, but you limit the number that you can bring on. So you could bring on 6 forwards if you wanted to. You could bring on 6 backs if you wanted to. But limiting them, moving away from 8 replacements to a fewer number. So is this a shot against the Boks? I don't think necessarily, to be honest. I think, the Springboks are known for having the best bench, and I don't think limiting the number of replacements coming on would suddenly nullify that. I think it speaks to the depth that the Boks have got, that players can come onto the field after 50, 60 minutes and add to the game. We're seeing with that with other teams as well. Ireland, for example, have taken that step in the last 12 months. They're also really starting to find a way to bring impact on from the bench in a way that other teams haven't quite been able to do that. And they're designing their team similarly now to find impact players to be able to add to that. So I don't think that, when you talk about restricting bench, that's necessarily taking a shot at the Boks. I think other teams are starting to understand how to use it correctly as well. We're seeing far more 6-2 splits, for example, far more energetic players or sort of players who can make a bigger impact coming off the bench lately. And I think that, in general, I think that we are moving towards a time where the bench is becoming more as important as your starting 15. I think the Springboks really pioneered that with the bomb squad back in 2019. And this is going to be another big step to come. So, yeah, I think it's maybe a bit reactionary to say that this is something against the Boks, because again, I'm not in favor. I'm not adverse to the idea of speeding up scrums. I'm not entirely sure I'm with there going with more players on the bench. I don't think we need to have basically a whole different team. A full 15 on the bench and then being able to bring on 5 or 6 of them. So I don't really know. I think logistically that makes things quite complicated. But yeah, what do you think? It's a different way of thinking about it. It's the first time I've really sort of heard that kind of concept mentioned. So maybe that is something that will be considered. But what do you think? How do we get this right? Do we need to change it at all? What is your thinking? Let me know down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve. I'll chat to you soon.